Hey, I'm Slash, and you're watching Billboard. The great thing about Miles and the Conspirators is that they're such great players and they're such musos, you know, like really well-versed in a lot of different types of music, but great rock and roll guys. It started out where I did a solo record by myself. In doing that record, I met Miles Kennedy, and he sang on that album, and I'd never met him before, and I was just blown away at his sort of vocal sound and style, lyric ability, and as a person. World on Fire, its inception came from being on the road, just writing musical ideas in dressing rooms and hotel rooms and buses and whatnot.
The greatest guitarist in the world, Slash.
My parents were in the music business, and they took me to the Troubadour and the Roxy when I was a kid. And then as a teenager, I started going to the Starwood and the Whiskey as well. And I wanted to play those particular places before we embark on this world tour because of a lot of history. And also just to play in a small room. And we've been touring with Aerosmith for the last few months, doing stadiums and arenas. Last year, I went to Universal Studios for their Haunted Halloween Nights for the first time. It was just unbelievably cool. It was in 3D, so it was very surreal walking around in a sort of 3D environment. And John Murdy, who's the guy that is the designer and sort of CEO of the whole Haunted Halloween thing, I met him and I hung out with him and sort of picked his brain about how he did the Walking Dead maze and how he did the Evil Dead maze and the Sabbath maze. And he called me like 6 months later. I went like 4 days in a row. I was completely enraptured by this thing. He called me up and asked me if I would be interested in writing some music for his first ever original concept 3D maze, which was based on this psychotic clown family. When he told me what the idea was, you know, carnivals and clowns, they have a certain kind of music that goes along with them, a sort of 3/4 swing carnival music. That was the first thing that came to mind. Then I just sort of, with that concept in my head, and then wrote a very sort of sinister riff that went along with it, but a very sort of nursery rhyme kind of riff, but pretty evil at the same time. They loved it, and so we turned it into the theme music for the Clown 3D Halloween Maze.